Hello everyone, I welcome you all back. Today we are going to continue in our book Ready to Success Grade 7, Unit 7, Health, Food and Exercise. We are going to look through the course book and workbook activities in Lesson 3. Is it good for you? I hope you will enjoy the class, and if you are ready, let's start. Have a look at these two images, fruit and vegetables, only fruit and vegetables, and the other one meatless. These two images are very important for vegetarian people. Let's know what it means to be a vegetarian. We are going to read and understand information about being a vegetarian and discuss a vegetarian balanced diet. Meatless is a very important part of a vegetarian diet because they don't eat meat at all. They focus on vegetables and fruits. So they eat only vegetables and fruit in their diet. Vegetarians are people who, for many reasons, don't eat meat. Some vegetarians don't eat any animals or fish. People can be vegetarians because they don't like the taste of meat or because they don't want to harm animals. Here, there are two reasons why some people prefer to be vegetarian. Some of them, they don't like the taste of meat. Some of them, they don't want to harm animals. It can be a problem to eat a balanced diet for some vegetarians because meat is a good source of protein and iron, and our bodies need protein and iron. We need protein to help our bodies grow. Also, we need iron is used to move oxygen around our body. So protein and iron are very important for our health. This means that vegetarians need to find another source for these nutrients in their diets. Luckily, there are lots of foods made from plants that contain protein and iron. So vegetarians people are people who don't eat meat, so their diet has no protein and iron that we can get from meat because meat is a good source of them. So they have to find another source for these nutrients in their diet. And there are a lot of foods made from plants that can contain protein and iron. Now we are going to answer some questions related to the text about vegetarians. We are going to read the text about vegetarians and answer the question. This is activity 1 in our course book. What is a vegetarian? Look at the first sentence in the text. Vegetarians are people who, for many reasons, don't eat meat. This is the definition of vegetarians. So a vegetarian is a person who doesn't eat meat. Here, vegetarians are plural, but we have to answer the question using a singular word. A vegetarian is a person who doesn't eat meat. Question number 2 on the same text. Why are some people vegetarians? Here we have to mention the reasons. Some people are vegetarians for many reasons. People can be vegetarians because, here we have to focus on because it's the answer of any questions starting with why. Because they don't like the taste of meat, or because they don't want to harm animals. These are the two reasons mentioned in the text. The first reason, because they don't like the taste of meat. The second one, because they don't want to harm animals. So, why are some people vegetarians? Some people don't like the taste of meat, and others don't want to harm animals. Let's move on to question number 3. Why can being a vegetarian be a problem? Being a vegetarian can be a problem. Why? Again, a question starts with why. We have to find the keyword problem. It can be a problem to eat a balanced diet for some vegetarians because this is the answer. Meat is a good source of protein and iron, and they don't eat meat. So, here the keyword is problem. We have to find it in the text and then read the sentence and to try to find the answer. Why can being a vegetarian be a problem? Being a vegetarian can be a problem because vegetarians miss out on the protein and iron contained in meat. Like we mentioned, meat is a good source of protein and iron, and vegetarians miss out on the protein and iron which contained in meat. Let's move on to question 4. What do we need protein for? As we mentioned, protein is very, very important for our health because protein, we have to find the keyword here, protein, because we need protein to help our bodies grow. So what do we need protein for? We need protein to help our bodies grow. Question number 5. What about iron? What do we need iron for? Our bodies need protein and also our bodies need iron. We have to find the keyword iron here in the passage. Iron. So we use iron here. Iron is used to move oxygen around our body. So iron also is very important in our diet because it's used to move oxygen around our bodies. When I say move oxygen around, the same meaning has the same meaning transport. So we need iron to transport oxygen around the body. You can say move or transport. Move. Now let's move to the last question. Question number 6. How can vegetarians get enough protein and iron in their diet? We have learned that vegetarians don't eat meat or fish. Meat is a good source for protein and iron. As long as they don't eat meat, how can they get enough protein and iron in their diet? Yes, luckily they can get enough protein and iron in their diet from plants. Luckily, there are lots of foods made from plants that contain protein and iron. So how can we answer this question? How can they get enough protein and iron? They can get whatever they need from protein and iron from alternative sources such as plant-based foods. Any foods from plants. So plant-based foods. Now we have finished activity 1. We are going to move to activity 2, speaking. We are going to look at these alternative sources of protein and iron. Like we mentioned, there are a lot of plants that contain protein and iron for vegetarians to eat and get whatever they need from protein and iron. Vegetarians might eat instead of meat. These sources of protein and sources of iron, the vegetarians can eat them instead of meat. For example, have you tried them before? You have to ask your partner about these items in the list. Try to find answers on these 3 questions. Have you tried them before? Have you tried any of these sources before? Have you tried nuts? Have you tried seeds? Think of the answer. Yes, I have, or no, I haven't. Have you tried peas? Have you tried pulses? Question number 2. Do you eat them regularly? Do you eat eggs regularly? What about cheese, yogurt, soya, rice, grains? You have to think of these sources of protein. Do you eat them regularly in your diet? What about the other sources of iron? Leafy green vegetables are a good source of iron. Broccoli also. Nuts. So nuts are good source of protein and also a good source of iron. Seeds, the same. Pulses also. Dried fruit, eggs also is a good source of protein and iron, and dairy products. Did you realize that they contain protein and or iron? When you eat eggs, do you know that eggs is a good source of protein? Yes, after learning this lesson, we can answer this question by yes, I realized that these sources of protein are alternative sources for vegetarians that they can eat instead of meat. And the second column are sources of iron vegetarians can eat instead of meat. Here in activity 2 in our workbook, we are going to write a short letter to some of our friends who have decided to become vegetarians. So we are going to imagine that one of your friends have decided to become a vegetarian. We are going to write a short letter to my friend or other friends who have decided to become a vegetarian. In our letter, we should include two things. First, we have to inform them about the importance of a balanced diet, and also we are going to give them advice about how they can make sure they get plenty of protein and iron from alternative sources. I have chosen some sentences that may help you in writing your letter. First, we have to inform our friends that being a vegetarian can be a problem, and we have to mention the reason, because vegetarians miss out on the protein and the iron contained in meat. But there is a solution for this problem. However, a well-rounded vegetarian diet can be healthy and nutritious. How? Then we are going to move to the advice. You should plan your diet carefully. Here we advise our friends who have decided to become vegetarians. You should plan your diet carefully. Why? To ensure nutritional needs are met. How can I plan my diet carefully? You should eat a diverse mix of fruits, vegetables, grains, healthy fats, leafy green vegetables, instead of meat, of course. So our diet must include different fruits, vegetables, grains, healthy fats, leafy green vegetables. Why? To be healthy and to get the proteins, vitamins, iron, and calcium that your body needs. And don't forget, when you write your letter, you have to write it in the form of a letter. You have to mention first dear and name your friend, and also you have to end the letter by yours or best regards and write your name. Here we come to the last activity in our workbook. It's a crossword puzzle. We are going to solve the clues to complete the crossword. We have to complete it using these clues. Here, across, are going to move across the crossword, and down, we are going to move down the crossword. First, a diet that contains all the food groups. If a diet contains all the food groups, we use the word starts with the letter B, balanced. So we are going to write balance in number 1 across the crossword here. Take care of your spelling. Four, across the crossword. We need this to build our bodies and to make us strong. What do we need to make our bodies strong? Starts with the letter P. Protein. Again, check your spelling before you write. Five, we need this in a small amount to keep us warm and protect us. To keep us warm, so and it starts with the letter F. 3 letters here in number 5. Fat. So we need fat to keep us warm. 7. Iron is used to transport this around the bloodstream. Yes, we use iron to transport what? Transport oxygen. It starts with the letter O. Here, 7. Oxygen. 8. People who don't eat meat are called this. People who don't eat meat, we call them vegetarians. You have to write it in number 8 across the crossword. Vegetarian. It's a plural, so we have to add S. Vegetarians. 9. These are divided into groups. What do we call the food when we divide it into groups A, B, C, and D, and E? Which nutrients are divided into groups? Starts with the letter V. Vitamins. For number 10, this gives us quick energy, but we should try to eat it in natural products like fruit and honey. We need this nutrient, starts with the letter S for quick energy. So it's sugar. Now we have finished the crossword using the clues across the crossword. Now we start with down. For number 1, down the crossword, use 2 slices of this to make a sandwich. What do we use to make a sandwich? We use bread. Here, down. We are going to go down the crossword. We have the letter B and the R. bread. For number 2, down the crossword, these give us energy and can be found in bread, potatoes, and pasta. Potatoes and pasta are full of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. Now, for number 3, iron and calcium are examples of these. Iron and calcium are examples of one food group called minerals. Minerals. The last clue down the crossword, cheddar, mozzarella, and brie are all types of this. They are all types of cheese. Now all the clues are solved and we have finished completing the crossword. This is our last activity for this lesson. To the end of our lesson. I hope you have enjoyed the class and see you in next video. Thank you for listening and goodbye.